Hello, good people of the handheld community and any other followers I might have. Today, I'm not going to give you a review. Today's video is going to be a happy birthday celebration to this little device right here. Followers, you should already be aware of this. This is what is called a PlayStation TV. See? Says so right on the bottom. Today, October 14th, 2016, marks the 2-year anniversary of the PlayStation TV's release in North America, and I have a lot planned for this video. Whether you are a PlayStation TV fanatic or someone who has no idea what it is. So, as such, before we get on to the celebration, let's talk about what exactly the PlayStation TV is and what it can do. Welcome to PlayStation TV 101. The PlayStation TV, or the PlayStation Vita TV as it is known in Asia and Japan, is a micro console with the same hardware as the PlayStation Vita handheld that allows you to connect it to an HD TV to play games on the big screen instead of the small screen. There are 3 ways to play. The first 2 require a constant internet connection, the last one does not. The first way to play is remote play. You can stream a PlayStation 4's screen onto the PlayStation TV if it's in another room to be able to play PlayStation 4 exclusives over streaming, like Fallout 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, or the new Doom game. The second way is through PlayStation Now streaming. By paying a rental fee, you can stream PS3 games onto your PlayStation TV, like God of War 3. Now, the final and most important is the ability to play download and retail PlayStation Vita games along with digital PSP games and PS1 games. Note that Remote Play and PlayStation Now require a constant internet connection, but PS Vita and PSP titles do not require an internet connection outside of the download process. Now, finally, you're going to see the games in action here in just a moment. The biggest 2 things that many people don't realize about the PlayStation TV: one, not all games are compatible with it, and two, it has alternative touch controls. Compatibility is really up to developers at this point. They can flip a switch in the PlayStation Vita developers kit to allow it to launch in the PlayStation TV. Do note that a lot of games don't work on the PlayStation TV. Refer to my PlayStation TV compatibility list at reviewstogo.com to see whether a game you want for the microconsole works or not. But the majority of new games do release as compatible, so in most cases you won't have anything to worry about. The second is alternative touch controls. Many PS Vita games use the front touchscreen for some features that don't have button alternatives. So we're going to take a look at these alternatives in action. Now, if you're in a game and you hold down the home button on your controller, you can pull up this menu right here. You just scroll down to this feature that mentions the touch controls, hit a checkbox, and then, depending on what controller you have, you can use a touch pointer that appears on the screen. If you use DualShock 4 controller, all you have to do is use your finger on the controller's touchpad. But if you use a PS3 controller, you have to click the L3 and R3 buttons to have manual pointers appear on your screen. A lot of people don't realize that these touch controls exist. And now that you know the most important parts of the PlayStation TV, let's talk about compatibility as the start of our 2-year birthday celebration. From misinformation being tossed around by people on the web to there not being any official Sony compatibility list that is accurate at all, there's always been a bit of a confusion about what games are compatible with the PlayStation TV and just how many new games do release as compatible. There are a lot of people out there that still think that almost no new games release as compatible, and that is very far from the truth. If you take a look at my compatibility list on reviewstogo.com, about maybe 800 to 900 games were listed as compatible when the PlayStation TV first launched, and that was across Vita, PSP, PS1, and PlayStation Mobile titles. Since PlayStation Mobile is no longer a thing, we have to go with the rest. In the past 2 years, taking data from my compatibility list, PlayStation Vita titles, PlayStation Portable titles, and PS1 titles come up to there being over 1,300 games now available to play on the PlayStation TV across North America and Japan. That is 400 or 500 new games made compatible just in 2 years. That is a huge milestone, especially considered the PlayStation TV has been discontinued in some countries, and some people think that it has almost no support. Now that we know there are over 1,300 games available to play on the PlayStation TV, buyers are going to want to look at what games of each genre are available to see what their options are. In the action genre, we have games like the God of War HD Collection, Koei Tecmo's Musou series like Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, or the Ninja Gaiden Sigma series, PlayStation Vita ports of the reboot Ninja Gaiden series that released on the Xbox. For adventure fans, we have Adventure Time Secret of the Nameless Kingdom that plays very much like an old school Zelda title, Grim Fandango Remastered, and the Telltale games like The Walking Dead Season 1 and The Walking Dead Season 2. For beat 'em up fans, we have the Akiba series, one of which is released and one of which is releasing next year. Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds, originally an Xbox title. Or for the more fan service type fans, there are the Senran Kagura games or the Valkyrie Drive Bikini game. Now, for those of us who are driving and racing fans, we have games like MotorStorm RC, the PlayStation Vita version of the 2012 Need for Speed Most Wanted game, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, or the more simulation-friendly WRC4 and WRC5. If you're a fighting game fan, you've got the BlazBlue series to go through, like BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend or Chrono Phantasma. Dead or Alive fans have Dead or Alive 5 Plus to go through. We've also got Skullgirls and still hit title from back when the PlayStation Vita launched, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now, if you're more into indie games, we've got a lot of that available as well, from Bastion, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, the recently released Darkest Dungeon, and of course, the ever popular game Minecraft. For those of us that are into music and rhythm, there are choices here as well. You have the Hatsune Miku Project Diva series, imported from Japan, IA/VT Colorful, Persona 4 Dancing All Night made in the Project Diva style, or for DJ Max fans, there is also Super Beat Sonic. If you're an RPG fan, there are a lot of options for you as well. If you like action RPGs like hunting games, you have Freedom Wars, a PlayStation Vita exclusive, the God Eater series through God Eater Resurrection and God Eater 2 Rage Burst, Tales of Hearts from the Tales series, and you've also got the East series spelled YS. If you're more into turn-based RPGs, you've got games like hit Ubisoft title Child of Light, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, the Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD collection, or the very niche Hyperdimension Neptunia series that has almost a dozen games available to the PlayStation TV. If you're more of a first person or third person shooting fan, then you've got a few options. The PlayStation Vita version of Borderlands 2, exclusive game Killzone Mercenary, and of course, if you consider the new Resident Evil game shooting games, there is also the PlayStation Vita version of Resident Evil Revelations 2. For those of you who might be more into sports games, you do have a few options here. Many of the FIFA games are compatible with the PlayStation TV, as well as Madden NFL 13, the most recent Madden that is actually released on a handheld. And then you've also got the MLB The Show games all the way up to MLB 15. Now, going into more niche territory, but more in tune with the PlayStation Vita fanbase, you also have some visual novels available. The Danganronpa series is especially popular in the visual novel community. We've got Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero coming soon. BlazBlue fans can look into the X-Blaze series. And finally, we have Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward and Zero Escape Zero Time Dilemma that you can also play on the PlayStation TV. Now that we've seen a lot of games that can be played on the PlayStation TV, let's talk about the future of compatibility. Since the PlayStation TV has been discontinued in most countries, it is all on developers to make their games compatible. In the PS Vita Developers Kit, there is a simple form with a checkbox that says PS Vita TV, much like the one you're looking at right now. All developers have to do is select that checkbox and the game will work on the PlayStation TV. That doesn't stop me from getting pushback whenever I contact developers about this. I get reasons and excuses like, well, we don't own a PlayStation TV, so we're not going to make it compatible. Or we don't think it'll be an optimal experience playing it on the TV rather than playing it on the handheld. Now, we can easily rebuttal any of these because when it comes back down to the fact that it's only a checkbox, it makes developers look really lazy. You don't want more sales from PlayStation TV owners. You don't want more money. You're too lazy to spend 5 seconds hitting a checkbox. Regardless, most games do release compatible is in the minority, and mostly indie developers that choose not to do this. And in conclusion, that's all I've got for you. The PlayStation TV is still going strong. There are over 1,300 games compatible, and that number is still growing week by week. So if you're interested in the PlayStation TV, go out and get one and play some games on it. If you're already an owner, don't get rid of it because games keep coming out every week that are compatible. This is Trent from Reviews to Go. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for helping celebrate the PlayStation TV's second birthday, and have a great rest of your day.